Hi, you're watching Velo News TV. I'm Neil Rogers on location in Girona, Spain with U.S. National Road Champion Mara Abbott of Team Colombia. Mara, what brings you to Girona?
Well, I actually got lucky. I've got 2 races on my schedule over here in Europe. I did the Giro de Trentino about a week ago, and there's a race in the Czech Republic called Kresna Lipa that we're going to that starts on the 10th. So I had some free time. I have a bunch of friends who live here. I heard all sorts of good things about it. And a couple of teammates and I were discussing coming here next year and maybe trying to find a place if you're going to set up a European base somewhere. So sort of come and check out the scene and visit people.
Yeah, so this isn't my first time. This is your first time visiting as well. And I'm going to backtrack for a second to the Giro Trentino. Congratulations, second overall, 20 seconds to Fabiano Luperini, ahead of riders like Marianne Vos and Trixie Worak. Hell of a ride for you. Would you consider that your top European stage race result? I guess it would have to be.
Yeah, it's one of the only European stage races I've done, so it was fun. It was a really, really gorgeous location. It was up in the mountains there. We had no idea. Kim Anderson and I drove up a couple days before the race, and we were just amazed. It was absolutely beautiful there, so it was a really fun trip.
And obviously, you are in a sort of a tenuous situation because it's 6 weeks away from the Beijing Olympics, and you're one of the riders on USA Cycling's long list. The only rider that's met the automatic selection criteria is Kristen Armstrong, and you're still waiting to find out. It's any day now. July 1st is the date that the USA Cycling Committee is submitting the names to the U.S. Olympic Committee. We'd hope by the time we'd schedule this interview that you might know, but that result has to only help your chances.
I certainly hope it does. I mean, it's coming a little late in the game, so you don't know if they're still going to take it into consideration, but hopefully that result speaks to who I am as an athlete, and maybe that's what they want for the Olympic team.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be. I just think back to sending in my application to college and waiting to find out, and it's sort of like that 100-fold, I would imagine.
Well, you know, Alan Lim actually made that exact analogy, and it's actually pretty appropriate because, you know, if I don't end up getting to go to Beijing, I get to go home, spend some more time in Colorado, get to go do nationals, which is really exciting, try and defend that title. So, I mean, obviously you want to go to the Olympics, but if you're going to put the positive spin on it and realize how lucky you are to be in the situation at all, it is a lot like going into college because something's going to happen. Yeah. And it's probably going to be good regardless. You just don't know what it is yet. You and I were talking the other day, though. The Beijing selection process even has an impact on this week and next week in terms of do you stay in Spain? Do you head back to U.S.? I mean, there's a lot sort of riding on just finding out in terms of how not just August is going to go for you, but how the next week is going to go for you. Yeah, I guess it's sort of maybe a life lesson, a little bit of a lesson in patience, because I can't decide what I'm going to be doing a week from now, you know, in terms of training or any of those sorts of things. So you sort of have to say, all right, what can I do today? And yeah, I guess it really makes you enjoy your vacation in Girona, right? I know one of the selection criteria for the Olympic team was World Cup results, and you had a breakthrough ride at the Montreal World Cup last year, second. And I believe that was your first World Cup race, correct? Yeah, it was. Yeah. So now you're on, well, what was Team High Road, now Colombia, top women's team in the world. We haven't seen you in a World Cup yet this year. Talk a little bit about what it's like to ride with the best women on the world and yet not be able to, you know, go back to Montreal and try to, you know, improve your result there or go to some of these other really key races. I mean, what's that like? I would imagine it's a double-edged sword where it's you want to be riding for the best team in the world, but you also want to be doing the most competitive races. Well, I think it's worth it. You have to look at it. I mean, in women's cycling, I'm still a really young rider. And the teammates that I get to ride for and the management that I get to ride for on High Road Now Colombia is so amazing. And they all know so much, and I can benefit from that knowledge every single day that I spend with them. And so it's one of those things that I look at it and I say, how am I going to get to be the best cyclist ultimately? Easily by riding for this team. I can't imagine a better place to ride. So I think that really, on the whole, I'm pretty darn lucky with that one. Do you think with the Trentino result, maybe we'll see you in some of the latter half World Cups in the latter half of the season? Depends on who the strongest team is going into the race, who's riding well. And I mean, that's the way it's always going to be. Who's the best team to be at the race? And if I'm there, I'm there. And if I'm not, hopefully we win anyway.
Yeah. And after your time in Girona, is this going to be home for you in 2009?
See if we can find a place.
Great. Well, Mara, good luck with the Olympic selection, and thanks for the time.
Thank you, Neil.